BRICS Bank. BRICS Bank. BRICS. See, I'll give you a small material on BRICS Bank and other what is called as New Development Bank and Currency Reserve Arrangement. When you read this material, go and revise this IMF and World Bank also, because there are a lot of similarities between this BRICS Bank and Currency Reserve Arrangement, which I am going to discuss now. Okay, we'll deal first with it's only very few things are there regarding, but vital points about BRICS. So we have topic is about BRICS Bank. So before talking about BRICS Bank, you need to have an idea what is BRICS. BRICS are 5 nations. 5 nations are mentioned in that 5 each letter: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. South Africa joined in the third. See, every year there used to be BRICS summit. Every year there in the mid somewhere near June or July. It's in July, exactly July. Every June, July at that time period, there used to be an annual summit of BRICS. So in the third annual summit, South Africa joined. So that's just have an idea. Third summit, South Africa joined. From there onwards, there were a discussion. See, now try to understand what is the composition of all these member countries. Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, they have a common thing. They are emerging market economy. They are developing countries. Okay, they are and basically this 5 economy is contributing to the global economic growth. And they are growing, especially China and India is growing at a higher rate. And they have a grievances. That in the changed global multilateral economic global order, these countries are not getting proper recognition. Whether in IMF or whether in World Bank, you know, it's US or Western countries domination is there. I'll tell you one simple example that, okay, all the 5 countries combined together voting or the voting weightage or the share weightage is less than one country, US. If these 5 countries come together in World Bank, their share or their voting right is less than US. So in many of the cases, they always feel that their demands is not met by the World Bank, or the World Bank is not functioning in a democratic manner. So that was their grievances. They pushed hard for bringing changes in World Bank and IMF functioning. In relation to IMF also, you know that the US veto power, yes or no? US is having a major shareholder, we discussed under. So basically what I want to say is that the major purpose behind the grouping or this grouping deciding to form a bank is to have an alternative, not for presently, for in future, an alternative for World Bank and IMF. So to have an alternative for World Bank and IMF, BRICS in their 6th summit in July 2014. So in July 2014, it was decided in this 6th summit, which was held in a place called Fortaleza in Brazil. In this summit, in the Fortaleza summit in 2014, it was decided by these 5 countries to set up a 2 important institution, what is called as BRICS Bank, also called by the name New Development Bank. So New Development Bank, it's created by BRICS to perform what the same function done by the World Bank, like basically development, as the term suggests, developmental function. So New Development Bank will provide all the development assistance mainly to the member countries and to other countries also. Now try to understand the speciality of these 5 members. And this grouping, now this grouping have a very interesting factor. This is the only grouping in the world. This is the only grouping in the world which is not basic. If you take any grouping, either that grouping will be based on, it will be a regional grouping. Normally when few countries come together, it will be a regional grouping, or it will be for security purpose like NATO or like SCO. But again, SCO is again a regional grouping, or trade grouping. These are the 3 common groupings we see, either for trade or for security or for regional grouping. But you see the 5 countries where it is located, they are located in different parts of the world. So this is one with an aim to reform or to bring about a global new order, economic order. Okay, so as part of it, this BRICS have decided to set up a bank, what is called as New Development Bank, which will, so you can parallelly compare what all World Bank will do, what all function World Bank will do in a minor scale, because New Development Bank is a small new bank, they have less capital or to function. So in a minor scale, what the World Bank will do, New Development Bank will do in future, what they started functioning. And like what IMF will do, it will be done by an arrangement, what is called as the major function of IMF is to support the member countries when they are in BOP crisis. What IMF will do will be done by what is called as currency reserve arrangement. So like World Bank and IMF, these 2 institutions, or one is an institution, one is an arrangement basically by the member countries, currency reserve arrangement, were born in Fortaleza in 2014, exactly 70 years. That's also coincidence. They were born exactly 70. World Bank and IMF were born in 1944. If you see, the month is also similar. In July 1944, World Bank and IMF were born exactly 70 years after. After 70 years, in July 2014, they were born. In where? Fortaleza. So we can call it as Fortaleza twins. Like Bretton Woods twins. They were born in Bretton Woods. Okay. Now you need to understand the composition and the headquarters from the examination point of view. UPSC have asked question like that. So regarding the BRICS Bank, that is New Development Bank, its headquarter is located in Shanghai. So New Development Bank and currency reserve arrangement will be basically located in Shanghai. Now regarding this, since it is, first we'll have a clear idea what is this New Development Bank is all about. I told you it will perform the developmental activity, means it will support all the development related activities. And regarding the shareholding, in World Bank, you know that US were having the maximum shareholding. Since US were having maximum shareholding, it was having more voting rights. But regarding the New Development Bank, all the member countries is having equal share. Very important point. All the 5 member countries is having equal share. So it says that shareholding is like that. Initially they will be having a capital of 50 billion. 10 billion will be contributed by each member. So it can be increased to 100. So authorized capital is, it can be increased to 100. So this is a very important point regarding the shareholding. New Development Bank, all are having equal shareholding. All are having in the New Development Bank. All are having equal shareholding. So, and see, keep this in mind regarding its function. Since it is a new bank, it has not started. It started in a minor scale only. Were just launched very recently. So, but that's what I'm telling you, na, the major thing is in relation to how it will function. So, since there are 5 members involved in it, already headquarters have been given to China. The president is from India. This KV Kamath is the first New Development Bank president. Similarly, every member countries were given some, one were given one regional center, one were given means like, see, it's not that much important for you. Every member countries were given some post or some offices for its functioning. Now try to understand, presently only 5 member countries are involved in relation to New Development Bank. What is important for you in relation to New Development Bank is its headquarters, its shareholding, and we need to understand that it will function in future like what World Bank is doing presently. Now regarding the currency reserve arrangement, be very clear, like in IMF. Like in IMF, it is explicitly say that whenever a member country faces BOP crisis, member countries are presently 5, that from this currency reserve arrangement you can, so now there is a new option for India. If India in future, in the present context, India will not go for a BOP crisis. Why? We are having more than 350 billion forex reserve in the current scenario. We have more capitalists coming to India. But I am telling that in case if India is having a BOP crisis, then along with IMF option, we have an option under this currency reserve arrangement. So there is recently with China. So now try to understand that. Try to understand who is having more forex reserve under this. China. So here the shareholding or the contribution is different. In currency reserve arrangement, it is decided, it will set up a forex reserve pool. They will set up a forex reserve pool under this forex reserve pool with $100 billion US dollar, $100 billion for to help the member countries if they faces any BOP crisis. Now here the contribution is different in relation to currency reserve arrangement. Brazil, Russia and India will contribute 18 billion each. All the 3 will contribute equally, 18 billion each. So how much it is? 18 means 36, 54. 5 billion will be contributed by the South Africa. South Africa is a smaller nation, will contribute 5 billion. So how much balance is there? Balance by 5 billion by South Africa. Balance is 41. 41 billion will be contributed by China. So here China is contributing. So in New Development Bank, shareholding is equal, but in currency reserve arrangement, China is contributing more. You know the reason. China is having sufficient forex reserve. It's in trillion, near to 2 trillion or more than a bit. India's forex reserve is 350 billion only. In China is having in trillion. So China is contributing more in relation to currency reserve arrangement. Now here the point is that there was everybody was thinking that okay, with this currency reserve arrangement, China will lend money in its own currency, Chinese yuan. But that China clearly said that okay, this only through dollars only, China, this arrangement will be made, not through Chinese yuan. But actually all this is resulting, what is showing is that the Chinese currency, the internationalization of Chinese currency in future. So you already know that Chinese currency is now under SDR, part of SDR. Now with this currency reserve arrangement, it's showing that okay, China want to make its own currency, an international currency like dollar. So maybe after 30 year or 50 year, it will not be dollar. You don't know what will happen, maybe or after 100 year. So China will compete, or China will be an equal competitor to US. So basically China is trying to do parallelly, want to make its own currency, its yuan or renminbi internationalized, so that globally when you trade, instead of along with dollar, Chinese yuan will also be used in relation to trade and other transaction, capital transaction or current account transaction purposes. So that's what I mean by internationalization of Chinese currency. Okay, so this is sufficient for you for the basic understanding. This is a core point. Try to understand that BRICS emerging bloc have set up a new bank, what is called as New Development Bank, and an arrangement, what is called as Currency Reserve Arrangement, with its headquarters at Shanghai, to do a similar function what IMF and World Bank is doing presently. Okay, now try to solve that question on New Development Bank, question number 43. Which of the following statement regarding the BRICS led New Development Bank is not correct? You have to see that word not. Its headquarters is located at Shanghai. Is it correct? Yes. Its first president is from India. Yes, correct. It's KV Kamath. Its first regional office will be set up in Johannesburg, South Africa. That is also correct. China holds the maximum shareholding in New Development Bank. In New Development Bank, it is equal shareholding. That's the wrong statement. From this question, you learn a very important point. Okay, in 2016, I had posted in that telegram that in 2016 UPSC have asked a question. UPSC have asked a question on New Development Bank in 2016. You see the fund. First statement. New Development Bank has been set up by APEC. New Development Bank has been set up by APEC. Wrong. Second statement. Headquarters of New Development Bank is in Shanghai. That is correct. So these are the questions UPSC asked in 2016. That's why I'm telling you now. It's very difficult to make a statement wrong. Okay, so that's regarding New Development BRICS Bank or New Development Bank.